I saw teachers in the Hungarian music schools, normal average schools, elementary schools. The same teacher had so-called singing classes as well and normal average classes as well. And because the teacher was so good and well trained, you couldn't say in the grade 2 it is everyday singing or just twice a week singing, because the teacher was so good. Of course, after 3-4 years they advance faster, or have everyday singing. But it depends on the well-trained, musically well-trained teacher. And this is a danger to have in North America 1 or 2 days Kodály courses, and after 2 days these people became to be experts in Kodály. It's a danger, I would say. If they would be good musically well-trained teachers, they could get ideas in 2 days. But it is not what Kodály dreamed, to just in 2 seconds be a good music teacher, because we cannot eradicate the culture. We have to work. Everybody have to work again for the knowledge and the culture. You have to learn from the beginning. It's a hard work. It's a long procedure. It's not 2 seconds or 2 days. Years and years practice for the teacher as well. So here in Oklahoma, Norman, I was very pleased with the teacher in my early childhood course. They were very well trained musically, and I was very pleased because I could talk to them more clearly. I mean, they understand much more from my suggestions what to do with the young children in early age, because musically they were trained.
And our children in our schools, should we expect them to be able to sight read lickety-split through a choral work by the time they're in 5th and 6th grade too? Or?
It depends on when do they start. Because in Hungary we have the children 3 to 6, 96% they are in kindergarten, and in nursery school.
From age 3?
Age 3 to 6, so a 3 years procedure, and our kindergarten teachers are very well trained musically. They are very good, have music entrance examination in college, and lots of lessons, and also they learn instrument as well. So they are able to teach them. It means the children come to the school and they have a certain level already. They knew 60 songs and rhymes, and they sing in tune, and they sing individually in tune, and of course not all, but most of the children. And this is a great help for the school.
And it's not that you're starting reading and writing at age 3 with them.
No, not any kind of visual symbol system, just in the school. It's the preparation in abilities. So maybe you should start in your schools in a kindergarten, if you have a kindergarten age, the same, just to let them to sing, and through the singing and the games, which belongs the movement and the singing, develop all kind of musical abilities to prepare them for the school and having the visual symbol system, the reading and writing. And I would suggest not to use too many different kind of visual symbol systems, because the goal is the 5-line and the notation, handwriting. And we have the hand signs, all right. We have the sofa letters, that's all right. But some other letters with the dwarfs and the ladybirds and the flowers and 2 lines and 3 lines and different kind of techniques we use. And the children have to forget this.
Yes.
Just to come, when they come to the real true 5-line and notation, that maybe they are tired and say something again which I have to forget.
Yes.
And not just the disc to put in. Just take the pencil and let them to write. Be brave and trust the children. They can do it, even in twice a week, 30 minutes.
Get on with the real
teacher.
music and stop overemphasizing the silly techniques.
They are not silly. They could be helped for a while. But there's another question, how long I use a certain kind of technique. For instance, the hand signs. When they already sing the songs and read the notation fluently, they don't need the hand signs for this.
Yeah.
The solfa names, yes, it helps even in the Vienna classical to understand the functions and which degree you have in a certain major or minor.
Yes.
The solfa can help. But of course they have to learn the ABC notes, the absolute notes from the beginning.
Okay.
you saw on the video.
Yes. Well, then, just a little change of subject. Your specialty is early childhood. When should music instruction begin?
Instruction, I would say, later, much more later than the musical influence to the children.
Musical influence. When should
That's
musical
quite-
influence begin?
From the born, I would say, with the language. You talk to your baby, even they don't understand. The same should happen with the music. To sing them, to play with them, these beautiful mother gooses, what you have in your country, to wide variety, a wide source for the mothers to make the child happy with the little movements they do with the children, and also they sing. It's a wonderful personal contact, beautiful emotional feeling, and it has a wonderful climax and happiness about to play these games. I found in your culture, which was a certain kind of phenomenon in Europe as well in the 19th century, to teach the baby, to teach the number on the finger, this is 1 and 2 and 3, and to teach the child it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all good children go to heaven, and these kind of good things. They are not games, not real true games. This is not fun and not the real true art of the child. The art is a certain kind of imagination, fantasy situation. You are a little pig, and this little pig had a roast beef and none, and this little pig went home.
Yeah.
So it has a certain kind of tension and solution. In the tension is a climax. This is the real true art. And this could bring us to the music much better than the teaching purposes when we teach the direction of the child up and down, and I step 1 step and 2 steps. There you have wonderful, real, true, originally good tradition, and using your tradition for little ones, the babies from the born, the mothers or the caregivers when they are in a certain institution, and also in early childhood, I mean 3 to 5, they have to be happy with the games. And I do believe that to singing the games and be happy with the games, all musical abilities they develop, the singing ability, the rhythm feeling, the oral perception, everything through the games, not through the exercises, the direct teaching goals.
What kind of developmental abilities might we expect of children if they had a rich home environment of a mother that sang and played with them? By the time they're maybe 3 years old, what should they be able to do?
3, 4 years old, that would be the best sign of a good musical impression, that they would chant, not to sing the songs. That's just la 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 la. They're having own music and own intonation, which comes from the language, and be happy with the game, what the mother gives me, and be open to receive any kind of interesting sounds and colors and forms and proportions and persons in the whole world. It means these games, these personal games, the child will be more open, open to receive everything, and in behave and in emotions as well.
And in our culture, we may not be remembering so many of these wonderful, playful things to do with our children. When they arrive in our kindergarten class, or if the school doesn't have kindergarten music in our 1st grade class, where do we begin with these people that are 6 years old?
That's a good question, because it's not easy to, and it's not so too much meaning, to play with the 6 years old, the lullabies and the little finger plays. It's not for the 6 years old. They will go through a certain procedure, what we did from the born up to 5 years old children. It means they should get lots of good games and movements and personal contact with the teacher. And when they already have a certain ability to sing and receive and watch and move in a good beat, unconsciously, after we can do it conscious, and after this consciousness, they can have a certain kind of visual symbol system, the reading and writing.
So it's like our language. We need to be comfortable using our language before we learn to read and write it.
Absolutely.
And we need to be comfortable with our musical language. Well, I like overall, from top to bottom of our discussion here, you keep re-emphasizing the joy of making music. And really, that was Kodály's hope, to make people better citizens and better humans through the joy of music making. And I think that this was an excellent message, and maybe we need to hear it again and again and again so we don't forget that while we're learning our hand signs and tas and titis, that our children have to have smiles on their faces too. Thank you for coming and sharing this information with us.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
Let's briefly glance back to see how the children have developed.